Hello everyone and welcome back to Sunday Night Blood Bowl. We're preparing for this week's covered matchup between the Gnawhole Nibblers and the Wisconsin Vamps. The two teams are sending each other the game invites top, and now they'll let us know when their game begins. Joining me today is Reaper.
Howdy do.
And possibly Adam. He's AFK. We don't know if he's going to join us for covering, so we'll find that out. Camden Sports, how do you guys feel about this match? This is the game that could potentially confirm Camden's spot in, with a win that would put you at 3-1-0, almost a guaranteed place in.
4-1-0.
4-1-0. Right, this is the 5th week. I'm losing track. This is week 5. This would confirm Camden's spot in the playoffs, putting him at above a 500 record. And Sports, for you, this is your chance to start ruining people's dreams.
I plan to. I
know, and if you win 3 games in a row, you could actually make it if you can push, if you get the chance to push out the 3 teams currently sitting in the middle of the pack. Dwarf,
two of whom he has lost to.
That is true. 2 of them you have lost to, so you would need a prayer and a dream. So right now this is...
The game's starting, by the way.
Alright.
Because we're in the starting of, like, close to the coin toss, so...
Has the coin toss finished?
Nope. No.
We're doing team presentation.
Once the coin toss finishes and you're placing units, we're able to spectate.
Okay. I'm just letting you know.
I just realized that, the World Eaters are based off of the Vamps.
Mm-hmm.
In
40K. That's so weird. Huh.
So, Adam, are you back from your AFK-ness? Okay, I saw him coming online. I guess he's not back.
I will never win a coin toss.
I always win coin tosses, which, to be honest, is the weirdest thing.
The coin toss going in the favor of the Vamps. We have live we have an immediate notification of that. So the game should be live soon, and the game is now live. Adam, welcome.
What?
Do we skip the
intro or no?
We don't have to. Adam, you are welcome to join us as a reporter if you'd like. You just have to spectate the game. If you don't want to join, let me know.
Okay. I am waiting for food to arrive because I've barely had anything.
Okay. In that case, Reaper and I are going to head up to the reporting booth, and once you have food, if you would like to join us, just bring yourself on over, okay?
Okay.
Alright. You sound tired.
Well, I've barely eaten anything in, like,
that would be bad. Alright. Reaper and I are on our way to the booth, and we wish both coaches the best of luck, as we're getting the first notification. Gnawhole Nibblers are going to get an extra reroll thanks to cheering fans. And that is very big for a Skaven team. Especially...
Interesting thing here. The vampire teams are actually very cheap in terms of players. If you look, the Wisconsin Vamps have 5 rerolls.
Mm-hmm. So they're going to be able to use that to their advantage, but it's going to come down to, can those rerolls give them the advantage of overall having, I'd say, weaker players than the Skaven? The main disadvantage being that the linemen for the Skaven have extra movement, and given the 2 teams setup, the 2 teams that we're dealing with, it's very likely that the movement is going to play a major factor in which one's able to win. Positioning is going to be very crucial.
The Skaven are just faster than this vampire team.
Absolutely. The advantage that the vampires are going to have, obviously, is the vampires themselves, given that they do have several skills they can use. I wouldn't be surprised if we see, as well as the additional agility and strength, I would not be surprised if we see a few hypnotic gazes going out onto the Rat Ogre to try and to try and prevent him from using his big brawly advantage. It looks like we're going to see a very early pass. And that's going to succeed. That's going to put the ball in a very good spot for the Vampires. They'll be able to set up a nice cage around that. They've already created a little separation at the line. Honestly, they could probably stay here as only one... Yeah, they're going to stay there. The Skaven get only one blitz, as does every other team. So they're going to have to use that wisely to try and punch through this hole, or... Frankly, if they so choose, they could keep the positioning relatively the same and force the Vamps to make their first move and walk into the Rat Ogre. But that being said, they could very easily push around the edge of the field away from the Ogre and just try to lock it down. But it looks like the Gutter Runners are going to start moving up. One Quickie Boy, the star of the team, making his way around to the left. And other Quickie Boy is going to drop in alongside him. Interestingly, one Quickie Boy has been given catch and diving catch.
This is kind of an odd strategy by the Skaven here. They're leaving one of the wings completely open.
Well, thus far they are. I would expect that that side is going to be filled by, most likely, Fodder 4 back on the right end of the pitch. But now it looks like Handegg Flinger, the thrower, moving around as well.
A little odd to be seeing the thrower advancing downfield.
Mm-hmm.
That is very true, actually.
I do agree that's very odd. Now we're seeing a charge coming in, a blitz coming in from the Rat Ogre. This is going to put him adjacent to the ball. And first armor break, that's going to be a KO on one of the Thralls.
Patrick Star is down! I repeat, the Starfish is down!
Mighty blow, definitely paying off where it's needed. And this is putting the Vampire team in a very bad position. There's going to be a decent amount of maneuvering required to get bonuses on the Rat Ogre.
Doing some looking here, it's not as if the Handegg has been pretty consistent all season. He's not been...
He has been very consistent. Given his 5 SP, I believe that's come from mostly passing, given that that would be his main source of SPP.
So the question then becomes, why advance him down the field like this, put him in such a position when...
I believe Camden is going for some potential scoring threats to create a situation that forces the Vamps to make a few quick decisions. And we're seeing another pass coming out, and this one's going to be successful again. Potap Jason getting the ball to Dracula. And now if he can just knock Fodder 1 down, he's got room to move, but the Vampires are not going to outpace the Skaven. Especially with the 9 movement Gutter Runners off on the left side of the pitch. So he's going to have to rely mostly on his strength. It looks like Bloodlust is going to fail.
That's gonna draw a reroll out of the Vamps.
Yes, they do have a lot of rerolls to spare, and that definitely was a situation to use one. Losing another Thrall this early in the game would be extremely detrimental.
At this point, rerolls are even on both teams, or even on both sides for the remainder of the half. Barring any unforeseen circumstances at the beginning of following a score.
No.
Adam, I cannot hear you.
Can you, Ben?
I can, but you're going to have to speak up.
Okay.
You're pretty quiet. Alright, it looks like they are going to go for an advance down the right end of the pitch. Trying to lock down a few of the potential threats to the ball carrier with adjacencies, and Jimmy's going to get a knockdown on Fodder 1.
Honestly, the biggest threat to the ball carrier right now is actually Old Blind Rat, that Storm Vermin.
Absolutely. If he can get free of that Thrall, he can very likely start to push, but that being said, he's not in a good position to do that. So odds even if he manages to break away, he's got to get around a lot of stuff to be able to get over to the ball carrier. And I believe his strength is 3. It is. So he's not going to have... He's not going to have an advantage in combat. He's going to need to get somebody up there to assist him on the block.
We have one of this week's results in, actually.
I believe all of the games have finished for this week aside this one.
That would be correct. And Nagaron's chosen staying alive in the playoff race by taking down Grenay 2-0.
Yes, that would be Reaper's team taking down Adams. And the thing about that that game, which is more impactful on Camden than maybe initially thought, Camden does have a 3-1-0 record. But now I believe, Reaper, your record sits all... Camden is 3-1-0. Reaper, I believe you sit at 3-0-1?
3-0-2.
3-0-2. Week 5. My brain doesn't work. But that does mean there are 3 teams nipping at the heels of Camden's team. He really needs to get this win in order to secure a playoff spot, because if he doesn't win this, I believe the next few games he has are going to be against a lot of those middle to higher teams. I know he will be playing against me next week. He did say he's not looking forward to that, but whether or not it actually threatens him, we'll see when the game comes around.
Week 7 is his
That's
game
you,
against...
Joe.
Yeah, his game against me, the Nagaron's chosen, is going to be that week, and...
Right, so this game...
If there's another team like the Lizardmen that can actually bring the Skaven to heel, it's probably the Dark Elves, if I had to say.
I would say your team does have a good advantage. The main reason being, and we've discussed this with Camden, he plays the Skaven quite bashy, which not entirely what the Skaven are made for, but if any team can take advantage of him trying to play them in such an awkward fashion, it is another agility-based team. But it looks like now he's setting up for an assist on the ball carrier. Whether or not he attempts, I don't believe he will, because the only player close enough to go for that... Actually, he would get a 1-die with Storm Vermin.
Yeah, he...
with Old Blind Rat the Storm Vermin. So, we'll have to see if he makes that risk.
Go ahead, Adam.
Speaking to the ability of a agility-based team to exploit the unorthodox fashion in which Skaven has been played this season, the best performance we have seen against it so far was the 1-1 fight between myself and Camden.
That draw is the only non-victory he has this season, and it is one of the bigger threats to him being able to make it to the playoffs. Now, here comes the block. He's going to get a knockdown on the ball carrier. Dracula will hit the ground. The ball is going to come loose. And going to be dropped by the lineman.
Rival.
It's going to be dropped by the Thrall rival. Now, he can make a going for it to try and pick this up, but I don't believe that would be in his best interest right now. And Hand-Egg Flinger, the thrower, kept very far out of this conflict, in danger of being surfed should he stand.
Indeed.
So, unfortunately, he doesn't have his most reliable way to get the ball from one end of the field to the other quickly. But he does have the majority on the... He does have the majority, or the numbers advantage of the right pitch.
He does have one of his gutter runners over there. They're very fast in terms of speed.
Mm-hmm. And now one quickie boy, sitting not too far away from a touchdown, well within his movement. All that Camden needs to do is get the ball there. The Vamps need to take control of the situation along the right pitch, and that is going to be an unfortunate reroll But he is going to stun other Quickie Boys, so one of the bigger movement threats has been taken out, but unfortunately not much done in terms of the situation with the ball. I'm guessing the Rat Ogre is going to move in and start to clean things up here.
I would, if I were in his position, I would attempt to secure the ball next turn if possible, but failing that, I would attempt to foul one Quickie Boy and try and permanently remove him from this match. Because with that stun, he will not be standing back up next turn.
Wild Animal Roll is going to fail. So it looks like the Rat Ogre is not going to be moving. Very wisely not wasting a reroll on that, as I believe he'll still keep his tackle zones. Yes, he will keep his tackle zones, and he doesn't have to work. He's not going to risk losing his roll to Loner.
That is true. Those Rat Ogres do have a lot of nega traits that really can come back to bite them.
No pun intended.
Pun's always intended.
How foolish of me. That being said, he is going to still take a heavy advantage on the right pitch by the ball. There's a very large presence that Sports will have to deal with if he wants to have a chance of securing the ball again. At this point, I think the best play for the Vamps is to just get a presence around the ball and start to push out some of these Skaven. He's going to have to do something about his numbers disadvantage, or if he's able to, he does have David King, one of his thralls, still waiting on the left pitch. If he's able to, and frankly very lucky, there is a chance he could get the ball out of there to a favorable position, but now it looks like old Blind Rat getting moved into scoring position, and there goes one
very nice dodges.
Very nice indeed. One Quickie Boy is potentially going to run away with this one within the next turn. We could see a 4-turn TD coming out from Camden. I believe he's considering the pass. Frankly, it's not one I would recommend. Old Blind Rat not equipped for it, but the handoff is going to come out to fodder 5, so he'll be able to get the ball downfield to Old Blind Rat.
He's gone.
He absolutely is gone at this point. At this point, the Vamps really don't have much they can do to put the situation back in their favor. And Wee is going to get pushed closer to the edge, a little bit away from the ball. Unfortunately, the closest that any of the players on the Thrall team can make is Delily, and he would be able to blitz the Storm Vermin guarding the ball carrier, but he would be doing so at a massive disadvantage, having to take dodge rolls in addition to going for it and having to fight a teammate, a player with an advantage.
With proper pathing and no small amount of luck, he could actually get a blitz. I think he could get a blitz off onto fodder 5.
Unfortunately, I've counted out the number of spaces for Delily the Thrall, and he does not have enough movement to get there. So, Gnawhole Nibbler is going to run away with this first touchdown very early in the game, as Skaven often do. And it looks like the Vamps are just going to go for a little bit of damage to inflict on the onto
one Quickie
Skaven.
Boy.
Yeah, taking one Quickie Boy out of this game would be of a huge advantage to the Vampire team, but unfortunately the Skaven, with all of their movement and just ability to place themselves where they need to be on the field, I think that they just beat the Vamps at their own game for the most part. Vamps are really going to have to utilize the increased damage that the Vampires can do.
The biggest question here becomes, what will be the response to this touchdown?
Absolutely. The Vamps are going to receive the ball again, and don't forget this touchdown by the Nibblers is being done during the during a reception by the Vamps. And he's just going to run the ball in, not trying for anything fancy. That's going to be a touchdown from fodder 5 for the Nibblers. And very early, we're seeing how the Nibblers managed to keep their position at the top. Vamps are going to get their player back, so 4 turns and 1 touchdown later, the game practically begins again with an even greater disadvantage to the Vamps, who the Vamps sit at 3 rerolls only. Meanwhile, Camden has not used any of his 4. He has a reroll for every turn remaining in the first half.
That is true, and that could be very much a thorn in Sports' side.
Absolutely, especially given the way that things went during the first drive. Now with more resources available to him than his opponent, Camden might be able to push for another touchdown if he's able to get his positioning right, but it looks like there's going to be a quick snap.
Quick snap!
So the Vamps are going to get a little bit of extra movement.
And
probably try to pile in a little bit more.
It's going to be a touchback here.
Oh, I didn't even look to see where the ball is going to land, but you're right, there is no landing indicator anywhere. Touchback is going to go to the Vamps. Ball likely going to be given to SpongeBob in the back there. Definitely the most capable of the ball handlers.
And it will be.
For the Thralls. And the Vamps going to get their turn 5 for the first half. They're going to have to get themselves stuck in and start doing some damage to this Skaven team, but unfortunately...
There's a little bit.
Yeah, they are getting a little push. I believe it would be better for Sports in this instance to start following on his blocks. Hanging back, while it does have its advantages, those advantages are not going to come into effect just staying at the line, but we're going to have an armor break.
Good KO!
And that's 1 lineman down for the Skaven.
Excuse me, I'm getting a note. I'm getting word that my dinner has arrived. I will be right back to help with casting.
All right, sure thing.
And Camden will save his apothecary.
Definitely a wise choice, as he does have a chance to get fodder 1 back, and he has fodder 6 just waiting on the sidelines to take its place.
This is definitely true. Both teams here actually with extra players.
Absolutely, both of them taking great advantage of the weaker lineman class of units. It's going to be a stun onto the Storm Vermin.
Urk versus Wee!
And
Wee
wins.
comes out on top.
We're going to call that Weirk or Quee. And another reroll is going to come out for the Vamps. That is going to be favorable this time. And it looks like Sports doing a better job of locking down some of the Skaven, but unfortunately there are still 6 Skaven sitting towards the back end that very easily could start to make pressure.
If I'm Sports here, I just drive up.
I believe
drive up the wing.
I would absolutely consider driving up the wing. I think the most important thing for him here is to establish a cage here, because any cage he forms is going to not be adjacent to the Rat Ogre, which will give him an advantage in close quarters, and if the cage does anything else, it does provide the ability to fight within close range. He probably should move Delily over to the left pitch, but he does have a decent amount of tackle zones protecting already, so he may just want to move Delily up to try and press a little bit more of a threat.
Yeah, honestly, I would move Delily up a little bit.
Maybe also move Mohavil forward to put a little pressure onto Old Blind Rat, so that Old Blind Rat can't do anything once he stands initially without dealing with that threat or without risk.
That is true.
Especially
that is
because
a very fair assessment.
Especially because Old Blind Rat has no the Skaven, despite being very fast and dodgy, don't start with dodge, with the exception of the gutter runners. So old Blind Rat would be stuck doing fighting duty and keeping pressure on him so that he can't position himself to best use that fighting ability. Would be very advantageous.
Indeed it would, Ben. Indeed it would. More news on the playoff race. Dwarf falls down 3-0. That
and now a reroll is going to have to come out here. But, oh,
Loner.
the Loner is going to allow Mohoville to knock the Rat Ogre down.
And Hot Grinder Profile is stunned out.
The Vamps are going to have to take heavy advantage of this during the next turn to try and position themselves somewhere where they won't have to deal with the one big brawling threat coming out from
I really like this
Camden.
play.
This is a very good play. I like it a lot. This is opening up the right end of the pitch a lot for the Vamps. At this point, I would highly recommend moving SpongeBob into position, but it looks like we're going to see another pushback to free up Mohoville.
Opening up another tackle zone.
Yeah, and giving Mohoville the ability to move into position to create a more secure run for SpongeBob. Unfortunately, there is a lane just at the edge of the pitch that is free. I personally do not like that play.
That position? Yeah,
I do not like that position. That is going to give... It is going to give the lineman the ability to move in and strike at SpongeBob, but that being said, the lineman...
Get the strength bonus.
Not for long, though. Other Quickie Boy stands. Now the strength bonus is gone from 1. It will remain from Rival. So Camden will have to do something about that. I like that play a lot. Delily moving in to prevent Fodder 2 from making any advances. And now Old Blind Rat has 2 tackle zones on him. And a little action on the left end of the pitch. Hand Egg Flinger getting knocked down and KO'd. And now we might actually see the Apothecary come out. It looks
He's not using it.
No Apothecary. I believe what Camden is looking for here is he is saving his Apothecary for either a critical KO save for one of his gutter runners or for an injury on anything other than his linemen, really. The linemen do not matter to him, which is why he did name them all fodder.
That is true.
Adam, welcome back. We have some interesting developments. It looks like Sports is trying to take advantage of the right edge of the pitch. I'm not sure I like the positioning for fodder 5 here. I believe it would have been... Well, that being said, he does not have the ability to get to the edge of the pitch to provide a bonus. It looks like other Quickie Boy is going to go for the strength bonus onto SpongeBob. But now, if he wants to make a play on the ball, Camden's going to have to lock down the tackle zones of Rival and get rid of that strength bonus for SpongeBob. If he wants to have an even fight when he moves in and get a 1-die, because right now any attack he makes against SpongeBob will be 2-die in the favor of the Vamps.
If he recalls anything from my fight against him, he should be aware of just how effective a block around the ball can be. I mean, I was able to keep him from scoring at the end zone.
That is true. From that game, you had him pressed up very good. I think his only play he had at his disposal at that point was trying to surf you past the end zone, but he had 2-die rolls on every single possible block, so he would have been risking getting knocked down. And it looks like we are going to see a blitz come in, and that's going to be a 1-die, and we've got a push. And the reroll will be in his favor. SpongeBob going to be knocked down against the sidelines, but the ball not going to get launched out of the security.
And it's going to be really hard for the Skaven to pick that ball up.
Yeah, not only will it be tough for the Skaven to get this ball, Sports is going to have a bit of difficulty here, but I think he will most likely be able to get one of the thralls into position that Dracula can make a decent pass into the other end of the field, and if it's not recovered by the Skaven in the following turn, there is a chance he could use that. He could use the extra movement of the ball to let him get into scoring position. And if he wants to be in a better position before the next half, he's going to have to do that, as the next half, the ball is going to go to the Nibblers at the start. And now we have the Vamps' seventh turn.
Time in the round.
If I'm Sports here, I'm looking to pick up that ball with Dracula
And pass it out to a Thrall.
Yeah, get it over to either Dale or Potap.
Hypnotic Gaze going to land on fodder 3.
Somebody's going to have to refresh my memory just how effective that is.
So it
Hypnotic
prevents
Gaze.
actions.
One of you,
All right,
not both of you.
Ben, you go ahead.
Oh, we're going to see an armor break coming in onto fodder 3. It's going to get a stun. So Hypnotic Gaze, I have actually not used this ability very often. So the way it works is that the opposing player will lose their tackle zones. They cannot catch, intercept, pass, or assist a block or foul. And now it looks, but now fodder 3, the stunned target being, the hypnotic target being stunned, renders most of that unnecessary. And it looks like a 2-up pass is going to fail twice.
Not
There
good,
is-
the Vamps.
There really is no solid way to fully play around that. That being said, it looked like he was passing to Mohovil. If he had taken one step back, he could have done a handoff, which possibly could have saved this drive for him.
Sports better watch out. The Wisconsin Vamps sponsor is not liking what they're seeing today.
Who is their sponsor? I actually don't know. Oh, an armor break coming out onto a Thrall. Just a stun, though.
Does anybody have access to that right now?
We're all watching the game, so no.
Do not.
I'll put it up on screen. Unless I forget.
Insert soliloquy here.
To be.
To Blood Bowl or not to Blood Bowl.
It's always the Blood Bowl.
Always, always, always. I
Right.
don't think there's a way that SportsDog can score here.
I don't believe there is either. Now, there may be a way that Camden could secure a second touchdown before the half, but it would take a fair amount of luck. I believe his best way would be to get Urk, one of his Storm Vermin, downfield ready to get the ball on the next turn. But that would require going for it rolls both turns. That being said, he has 2 rerolls, so he may choose to go for that.
We're getting a call in from one of our from somebody in the network. They've just looked it up. The sponsor of the Wisconsin Vamps is Spike Magazine. Spike Magazine, the continent's best-known sports magazine, can provide you with the money you need. But don't be too surprised when the escapades of your players make it onto the front pages.
All right, they're the ones getting the ad, not you. All right, and it looks like the Vamps are going to get pressed down pretty hard here. And this is going to solidify a favorable first half for the Nibblers. However, now that he's used this blitz to take out David King, there is very little chance of... Yes, and there the dodge roll is going to fail. One Quickie Boy is not able to get into position for a touchdown on the following turn.
Another word from the network. They would like to answer the question before it comes up. The Nibblers of Rat's Nest are sponsored by Skaven Cheese.
Okay.
To
Skaven
absolutely
Cheese.
no one's surprise.
It's no. Skaven cheese. It's not fit for human consumption.
And Mohovil Yanukovych is going to make a successful pass to Delili in the center. That will generate some SPP, but as far as scoring goes, that is out the window. There are not enough spaces for Delili to make it to the end zone.
I'd start fouling that the Rat Ogre, honestly.
I would consider that.
Skaven cheese, the mere sight of it will cause a halfling to vomit.
A lot of things cause a halfling to vomit.
Halflings don't vomit at food, though.
Nope. They vomit at a lot of things. Almost never at food.
Oh, Skaven cheese must be gross. Well, Delily 3 spaces away from the end zone, but won't be able to make it as this is the final turn. And given that Sports has extra players, he really should move Potap Jason and Dale into position and get a foul on this Rat Ogre. Try and keep that thing off the field. Well, it looks like a foul's going to come in anyway without much assistance. Jimmy's getting sent off, and it'll be a failed roll. Rolled a pair of 2s. It does not beat an 8-up.
Unfortunate noble run by Delily, but he can't help the turn. He can't help the half's nearly over.
And looks like the Rat Ogre blitzing Patrick, only going to get a stun on the armor break. So that is definitely the best result that the Vamps could have hoped for. Now they just have to hope that SpongeBob doesn't get surfed, which he is in prime position for. The Storm Vermin just needs to land a block, as I don't believe that Mohoville would prevent would prevent the Alright, looks like we're gonna see a reroll. And just gonna be 2 blockers striking each other, so had old Blind Rat used those rolls against SpongeBob, those would not have been successful. Now we're seeing a very risky foul. Not gonna pay off too much, but fortunately for the Nibblers, other Quickie Boy is not going to get sent off. I'm surprised he would make a foul roll with such a crucial player to his team. And it looks like Urk is going to strike back at Wee at last and only stun him.
And stun him as well.
So the only one left to make any actions is fodder 4. Whether or not he strikes Dracula, yeah, he will. And that's going to be a knockdown if he can get an armor break here.
What do you think Potap and Dale are discussing right now?
Probably how I killed Tucker and added him to my team. Dale's very sad.
Ow!
Dracula is going to be KO'd, and that will end the half. The Vamps are going to have to hope that Dracula can bring it back. We're going to head over and talk with the coaches now.
Our dead ninja goes back up. Yes, the knockout's still there!
Very unfortunate, Dracula not getting up. How do you guys feel so far about this first half?
This is interesting.
I was really sad that I almost had a scoring opportunity, but it lifted it away from me. Sadly.
Yes,
My hands got a lot dirtier than I wanted them to get.
Unfortunately,
I did not want to fight that much.
I couldn't pass it either to try to get closer.
The team didn't want to get their hands dirty. Something is very, very surprising.
They're a whole bunch of cowards anyway, so like... No, I just didn't want to like fight my way. I didn't want to have to fight my way through.
To be fair,
That's exactly what he made me do.
SpongeBob's gonna hold his title as best thrower in the league.
But well, Camden,
looks like it.
What was your reasoning for sending your thrower down behind enemy?
I thought SpongeBob still had the ball. So I was like, fuck it, like let's get in position.
We were debating that for a few minutes. We were like, this doesn't seem like.
I thought you were creating a scoring threat.
A scoring threat?
That's what I thought too, but like, yeah. I was like,
why'd you send him, not the gutter runner?
If the end zone without anybody there, then yes, that would be a scoring threat.
I am genuinely curious as to why you decided to use other Quickie Boy to foul.
Yeah, that was an interesting play.
I mean, I can't score. I have to just knock him down, right?
Yes, but
true, but you risked an ejection from one of your gutter runners.
That's fair.
Which,
it was a 42%.
If you were rejected, I would have been so happy.
Doubles are all that you need to actually get kicked
Also,
on either.
if you were to be ejected from that, it would have been an advantage to me after this half. So.
Absolutely. Luckily, both of you have backups, so the board is going to be filled again, but no extra vampire. We're going to head back up to the booth for the second half, but we wish you both the best of luck.
Let's do it.
We're going to try to make this game the best game you've watched. Get the red.
All right. So extra bribe going to each player. I got that one earlier today with my game against Levi, and I didn't know it existed up until then. But we're seeing it again here. Fodder 5 dropping the kickoff. He's going to get eaten.
Does anybody else feel that Goblin looked far too sympathetic?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't trust him. Oh, apparently Snake Eyes on the kickoff event is what triggers that. I haven't looked at the list. And Rat Ogre's Blitz not going to turn out.
Grinder profile. Going to hit Frenzy, though.
That is true. And he's going to get the knockdown. And we've got an injury on Patrick Starr. He's going to be missing his next game.
With a broken jaw.
Yes, and I do believe that the Vamps are currently missing a player with an injury, but I have not checked to see which player was taken out of the game for this week. Though I may be thinking of I believe his Mohovil is down, has a niggling injury. Yes, he does. He has a niggling injury, so... Oh, no, he has a serious concussion, so he has lost a point in armor value.
How... Wait, right, no, he's just a human. I was about to say how a skeleton can have a concussion.
If one of my skeletons gets a concussion, he's fired for being an abomination to the creation he is.
That does sound like something you would do.
Can you refresh my memory on how raising one of the enemy team works for you? Do they come back as the unit they were, or are they changed into some form of...
So, if you're running a
monster?
team like the Undead or the Right, so for the Undead, every kill you get them as a zombie with the same name, and for the Nurgles, which we have a Nurgle team in the minors right now, every kill by the Nurgle team, that comes back as a Rotter. Which is basically a zombie with a little slightly different skill set.
Necromantic also gets that same effect.
I couldn't remember if Necromantic got it, but
the only undead team that does not is actually Khemri.
Yeah.
Because
I knew Khemri didn't get it, because I think we talked about that before.
These are ancient bloodlines. They cannot be tarnished by common folk.
You think we're just going to invite you to our 1,000-year family gathering?
Seriously.
All right, Handeg has the ball, and other Quickie Boy is downfield. I think we know where this is going in about a turn. But it looks like the pass actually is going to go over to one Quickie Boy. I'm not entirely sure why. He doesn't have nearly as clear of a route. Frankly, if I were Camden, I would have left the ball in the hands of Handeg, given him enough space to force Sports to deal with the threat that is other Quickie Boy. But now Fodder is going to knock down Delily. Another armor break, just a stun, but any numbers advantage is a good numbers advantage when it comes to the Skaven. And for the time being, they have a numbers advantage of 2 until that stun comes back. Now, SpongeBob probably going to get punched in the face by old blind rat.
Given the Skaven's lack of armor, I'm amazed they don't have more. They haven't received any more injuries.
What I find incredible is that every game I have ever seen between Skaven and Dwarves results in more Dwarven injuries than Skaven injuries, despite... Oh, he's going to go with the pro roll, and it's going to fail. Despite the fact that the Dwarves have amazing armor for their team, like, overall. Like, it's not, like, 10 armor for everybody, but it's 8 armor across the board. While the Skaven have 7 armor all across the board, and yet they somehow, in every game I watch, manage to do far more with it. And unfortunately, SpongeBob's Bloodlust... Oh, no, he succeeds. He used a reroll. But having to use a reroll on a Bloodlust never feels good. And it looks like we're getting some threats onto one Quickie Boy.
I'm analyzing matchups in my head, and I just realized how much danger the Skaven will be in that Dark Elf matchup coming up in a few weeks.
Oh, looking at the numbers as far as stats, the Dark Elves will have a brawling advantage.
Well, it's not just the brawl advantage; it's those assassin units.
Oh yeah. Now that you mention it, the assassins could be a very, very heavy threat. Are you familiar with the assassins, Adam?
I am somewhat familiar with the assassins.
He had to deal with one today.
Yeah, so stab means no armor block. It's just no block. It's just an armor roll. And yeah, with all of these 7 armors, frankly, an assassin on either team would be a huge threat because both sides have a large amount of 7 armor characters.
On either of these teams, or
both teams, right here, the Vamps and the Gutter Runners, both are quite susceptible to assassins. As the difference between 7 armor and 8 armor is massive when on a 2-die roll. I believe there are 5 or 6 ways you can roll a 7 out of the 36 possibles. So it increases the odds by about, I think, 10 or 20%. I'm doing very rough math right now.
I must say, it is very nice that my assistant coach has recovered very nicely from that stroke he was having.
We're not going with the bit. You made me look like an idiot.
Oh, I'm sorry, man.
You made me look like an idiot in that video. Well done with that, by the way. No, I know.
I was trying to play into the narrative, man.
There's no narrative. We're playing Blood Bowl. That's the narrative.
Well,
all right.
I'm sorry that I wanted to play it up.
Okay,
you can play it up. I'll just try to notice it more. All right, so it looks like we've got a very strong scoring threat from other Quickie Boys.
Skaven in the end zone.
Skaven in the end zone. And one Quickie Boy only needs 1 dodge. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, with his 9 movement and 1 successful dodge, he is within quick pass range, and we could potentially see a touchdown. But Camden is going to go for all of the easier rolls to make to start. And here we can see Jacob Ivanchuk, I don't know. He's KO'd. Doesn't matter anymore. Doesn't matter. He's KO'd. My behavior between the last recording of this and this recording has changed drastically.
For reference, for those of you watching, we had about a 2-week hiatus.
Oh yeah, for reference of everyone watching, there was 2 weeks between the last time we recorded one of these and now. And Potap's got a smashed ankle, so now the Thrall's losing movement, one of their only valuable traits. So he might get fired. I think the odds of him getting fired have drastically shot up.
And to explain why that hiatus occurred, yeah, that whole bit about the
so Adam's graphics card stopped working. So we had to wait for that, and I went on vacation. But that was less important. I probably would have managed to do this on vacation. So it looks like SpongeBob is going to get beaten down pretty hard by all of the Skaven around him. And with a swipe of the hand, SpongeBob is KO'd. And now
out.
Both vampires are out, and Sports is having flashbacks to his game with Levi, where he lost every single player on the pitch.
Let's see, how many are left? 1, 2...
Uh-oh. I think we might see a touchdown.
We've also been.
Is he going to do the quick pass? He is.
Yeah.
And that pass from one Quickie Boy to other Quickie Boy is going to be a touchdown for the Skaven. And it looks like they're not going to go down this game.
We've also been prioritizing finishing the last few episodes of this season this day in stream.
So. Yeah. For context, it's, well, now it's the 25th. Thanks, Midnight.
It is currently the 24th or 25th of July, depending upon your location.
Depending on your time zone, yes. And it looks like this is going to be not good for the Vamps. And the Skaven lining up in a much more aggressive stance, probably going to make a push for the ball. See if they can go for 3. That is a bad idea, Sports. Don't do it.
That said, I think... Well, slight update on the formatting for this. Going forward from this season, we have another team to replace the team that dropped out. They will be joining in the next season.
Yes. So what's awesome about that? We have a team we have an 8th coach. Our old 8th coach has left, which is why we haven't been covering him at all this season, and also why we have to adjust Reaper's win percentage, because he was the only one to play that game and suffered a loss.
And that's nonsense.
That is nonsense. It is unfair. So we are taking that into account. So if he ends up 5th, but with that in mind, he would be 4th. He'll get playoffs. But so the way we're doing things, and we will cover some of these minor league games, at least in their playoff runs, for reasons I'll explain. The minor league team, we have runs in the minors? We do. We have playoff runs of the minors, because if we didn't, then they would be entering the majors with less chance to get SPP. Right. So, the team that would be in the majors now is a Goblin team.
I do have one bit of curiosity for you.
Yes.
So there's a playoff for the upper 4, right? And for the
I know where you're going. We're not having any playoffs for the bottom 4.
Okay.
Just because at that point it is a matter of earning it, so you do have to put the work in during regular season to get the chance for the extra in the playoffs.
Okay.
Fair
enough.
Yeah. So probably a reroll coming out from Jacob
over multiple seasons.
And that is not going to be beneficial for him. I mean, it likely will be, but I don't think that it will be so negative that the other teams will be completely left in the dust.
Fair.
That being said, so the way the majors and minors are working is we're not covering the minors except for playoffs. And between the two, the team that does better in its respective season is the one that's going to advance up into the majors. So for example, Sports has lost every game of the majors. However, if his minors team is able to win a few games, then they will be the better of his 2 teams, and they will go to the majors. If we have anyone whose teams tie in their respective standings, we will either base it on their win-loss, or we will allow the coach to select. So there will be some new teams most likely coming in next season, mainly from the bottom 4, or bottom 3, which thus far will consist of Adam's team, Gurney, and Sports' team, the Wisconsin Vamps, unless things change or they manage to do worse in the minors. But so far, I think the way the minors teams are shaping up, that's not going to be happening. I do think we are going to see a couple of changes come through. And it looks like the Skaven are very quickly contesting this move up the right pitch. The Vamps are going to have to take great advantage of their, so far this game, stellar passing. But there's one less thrall for the next turn.
If I'm the Vamps here, and I know it's dangerous, but the entire left side of the field is wide open.
The left side of the field is very open. Right now, I do think the best play is to position thralls around the field in such a way that the ball can be passed easily, just to try and move the ball out of unfavorable positions as much as possible. Of course, this does open up a lot of potential interceptions, and the gutter runners having 4 agility would be able to intercept on, I believe, a 5-up as opposed to the usual 6-up. Looks like we're going to see a foul onto Jacob. Jacob is going to be injured, and he's going to lose strength, but we are going to get one player sent off, and the bribe is going to be used, and the bribe roll will pass.
The bribe will be accepted.
So
May we,
it looks like Jacob is going to be losing some strength. The
maybe-
Vamps have a lot of crippled players.
Maybe I was gonna say maybe we shouldn't use goblins as referees.
Especially because we have a goblin team coming in.
Yes.
And I'm frankly very excited for the goblin team. Even my games against them, I've tried them out. They're hard to play, but they make the game very interesting very easily.
What is the minors as it currently stands? I know I'm running halflings.
So right now in the minors we have Nurgles, halflings, orcs, Kislev Circus, humans, then Reaper. What's your team?
Kemri, the Tomb Kings.
Yes, and we also have Camden's running Amazons, and the final team is escaping my memory at the moment. I believe it is Sports' team.
Chaos?
Yeah, it is Chaos. So those are the 8 teams currently. And actually the minors game between Camden and Sports was played just before this one. I believe, yeah, Camden came away with the victory there as well.
This is the right...
Very risky pass. Most likely going to fail. But the ball is going to be caught by Mohoville.
I mean, it's a turnover, but it's still in possession.
It is still in possession. It's probably going to get knocked free. But
My
he's
eye
doing
is
the best with
twitching
what
out
he
of-
has.
And my eye is twitching out of jealousy.
The skinks can't catch anything.
I do... No. Earlier today, in the match between Nagarons and Gurney, the Dark Elves try to pass like that.
That one succeeded, I think, right?
The pass succeeded, the catch did not.
Mmm.
Though it still went on to lead to a...
It still led to a Dark Elf touchdown, and that was the big...
Oh,
thing
looks like a
about
reroll is
it.
going to have to come out from Gnawhole. It's just going to be a push. The Frenzy, though, that's going to be a surf.
Boom, baby!
And into the crowd goes Mohoville. He's not going to suffer an injury, but the ball is going to pop almost right into the hands of the Skaven. And
5 thralls, 5 thralls, and what is that? 10 Skaven now?
Is it only 10? I don't think they've lost any
11?
this drive. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
No,
That is 11. Yep,
11.
that is this is a 5v11 on the pitch here.
Not a good position to be in
Not
for
at all.
anyone.
That being said,
I mean,
if they're
a very good position for the side of 11.
Oh yeah, this is an amazing position for Camden. But if Camden does run in his 3rd touchdown, there is a chance that the Vamps could get back up to 8 players, which still not good for them. So I fully expect that the ball is going to be taken upfield for a 3rd touchdown.
Wait, how
And
many
now-
are typically on a field at one time?
11 on a pitch, just like football. And other Quickie Boy is going to pass it off to one Quickie Boy, generate a little SPP, and unless little old Bodan Zajac sitting in the back end of the pitch can do something about one Quickie Boy, that's going to be it. That being said, one Quickie Boy only has 2 strength. He does have dodge, but if Bodan can get a knockdown on his 2 dice, then that will at least prevent the touchdown for a little bit longer.
I
And
would
it
like
looks
to
like-
mention...
Looks like there's going to be an assist, so it's going to be a 1 die, and
I
a
would like to
cage
mention-
most likely going to form.
I
Sorry.
do feel a little bit bad for a couple of the players, and well, the teams in the minor league. For example, Kemri, they only have 2 agility all around.
Mm-hmm.
So even
So what you're
Even
telling me is
picking up
my
the
halflings
ball-
will run. So what you're telling me is my halflings will run circles around you.
Well, possibly.
No, I said agility, not movement.
Right, my confusion.
Right. It does mean they won't be able to pass at all, and they'll have a very hard time picking up the ball and doing anything with the ball and dodging.
Honestly,
And all the parts
But they are big.
down the field.
Honestly, break tackle is really your friend.
Break tackle is going to be your friend with the Khemri if you choose to go for it, and it looks like there's going to be a 2-die, and he either has to re-roll or he has to do the 2 knockdown and try to keep the ball from going in. It looks like he's just going to get the ball to get dropped, but still within scoring range, so it looks like other Quickie Boy will be running it in instead of...
I would have re-rolled that.
I think a re-roll would likely was probably in order there.
I know he only has 2 left for the half, but that was...
True. That being
if you're going
said...
to make a re-roll, that's the time to do it.
That being said, he may consider this drive a lost cause, and it may be better for him to have those re-rolls on the following drive where he may have more players back. If only to try and get 1 touchdown on the board to get a little bit of SPP for his players. And it looks like Camden is going to move one Quickie Boy into the end zone rather than going for the pickup. And other Quickie Boy is also going to be heading to the end zone.
Honestly, if he really wants to taunt, he could just line up his entire team in the end zone.
And it looks like that's what he's doing. I think he's just lining it up and gonna pass it over to Handegg. Or have Handegg pass it into somebody.
No.
How much do you want to bet he's rolling 1d4 to see which one he passes to?
No, here's an idea.
He's absolutely rolling 1D. Well, no, he's rolling a 1D2.
No, here's what he should do.
Hang on.
Pass it back.
Let me say the piece.
Pass it backwards?
He's flipping a coin because he's going to throw it to either number 4 or number 5.
Yeah, honestly,
Now I don't know what he's doing.
Pass
Okay,
it
he is passing.
See, I was gonna say pass it backwards to Handegg Flinger, get him some SP. Or some SPP.
True, this was a very good opportunity to get more SPP on.
It's 11 versus 5. What's Sports gonna do?
That being said, giving even more to SPP to one Quickie Boy means he's even closer to getting to 4th level. That is almost the worst result that Sports could have gotten there. He got neither of his vampires back.
I'm just glad I already had my game against Camden. I feel so bad for the people for the person facing him in the last week.
Well, I'm facing him next week, and last week is going to be Reaper. So Reaper, you might be dealing with a level 4 gutter runner.
That's fine.
I don't think it is.
No,
He's probably going to have Blodge by then.
No, but here's the thing. I don't need to worry about Blodge. I have an assassin.
That's true. You have an assassin. You can just stab him.
Yeah, all I need to do is break that 7 armor. And 7 armor is quite an easy thing to break.
Yeah, that assassin not going to be incredibly useful on everything you go up against, but anything with low armor, it's going to be of extreme value. I'm surprised. I don't believe you have a lot of night elves.
I think one of my characters got eaten by the crowd last game. I have no idea who.
Yes, I did.
It looks like the Lily's going to get a knockback onto fodder 3.
Yes, I did surf one of your players, but it didn't really matter.
There's going to be a stun on fodder 3. It looks like there's going to be at least a little bit of resistance from Sports, but probably not enough to salvage.
Wait, when you say night elves, do you mean the witch elves?
Yeah, witch elves, my mistake.
I do not actually have any witch elves at the moment.
That surprises me, because the first thing I did when I made my Dark Elf team was pick 2 of them up.
They are very expensive.
I mean, they are, but if you're willing to forego some rerolls in your first few games, they are extremely valuable.
I did not want to do that.
Fair enough, to each their own. So at this point, I do think the best play for Sports to have a chance at scoring is going with the passing game. But that being said, not exactly an easy thing to do up against so many Skaven. Frankly, he probably could have formed a cage in the center of the field. Instead, he's going to go for this blitz onto fodder 6, and he's going to use his reroll for a knockdown. Hopefully, he gets a KO or an injury.
He didn't.
Sadly, does not, rendering his reroll almost useless. I'm going to go for a 1-die block for a pushback. He's probably going to stay. He is. Unfortunately, he doesn't have... He has a lot of players bunched up, which does not help him with reducing the movement threat that the Skaven create.
Has every game this week been a shutout so far?
I believe so.
Oh.
And this will be the second game of the... This is the second game this week that will be a 3-0, unless Camden scores again, which will raise this to the highest scoring game of the season. There have been no games so far in this season where we've had 4 touchdowns scored cumulative or by one team. So currently, we could see...
currently, this is tied for the highest scoring with a lot of things, but most by one team. It's tied with
2 of my games. I know that.
I
scored 3-0 on you, and I scored 3-0 against Levi earlier today.
I actually don't remember the name of your team.
Followers of Sylvanas.
That's it. Followers of Sylvanas.
Yeah. We did have some 3 TD games in the first week, so that happened very quickly. But 3 TD by one team has only happened, this would be the 4th time, and likely going to be a 4-touchdown game, and break that record wide open. And the Rat Ogre is going to beat someone down again. David King getting knocked to the ground. Another armor break, and there's an injury, and the Rat Ogre gets even stronger. And David King fractures his skull and loses armor.
This team is a punching bag.
The most upsetting thing is that when you go over all of the injured players for the vampires, none of them got badly hurt. Every single one of them is either missing a game or has dropped stat value. And now the last reroll coming out from the Vamps, a desperate play trying to move down the field, and he's gonna get down the field, but all this really does is put him in...
Throw it across the field! Never mind.
I don't think he could have made that throw, but he's probably getting surfed.
Never underestimate the power of agility.
He only has 3 agility. That's a 6-up throw.
Could you imagine Dark Elves with 5 agility?
I don't want to. I don't want to imagine it like most things in this game with that much agility. Nothing in this game should have 5 agility. If you level it up to 5 agility, you've earned every single rage forfeit that you get from another team.
Yes.
Every rage forfeit that you earn, you earned that by being a terrible person.
When it comes to Khemri, I desperately want 6 strength.
See, 6th strength, though, strength can be played around. Very strong players you can play around with proper positioning, which is something that Camden has been doing very well with his Skaven, getting them into the right spot to beat down bigger opponents.
I am not quite done there. I'm talking 6 strength with break tackle.
I need to figure out how break tackle works, because I'm not sure if it works for your dodge or if it only is rolled after a dodge has failed, because the way it's written, it rolls after a failed dodge. And I'm...
Well, the way...
Well, that being said, that probably Yeah, okay. No, never mind. 6th strength with break tackle? Yeah, please don't. Because I believe it is if you fail a dodge, you roll with strength instead. It looks like Delilly's sent off the field. That's another KO. And once again, very, very unfortunate turn of events for the Vamps. And it seems Dwarves and Skaven really just like to pummel this team. And here comes the Blitz. And there's the Surf. Dale is off the field. No injury, fortunately. But even less players to contest. However, the ball is going to get dropped in a fairly... Well, it's still a good position, mainly for...
What are they at now? 3? 3.
3.
3 throws remaining. 3 throws
4.
through ball.
There are 4. There's 2 in the center of the pitch, 1 in the right of the pitch, and 1 on the Skaven end of the pitch.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yep.
3 throws through...
That scatter might actually prevent a 4th touchdown. And it looks like the Rat Ogre getting another knockdown. Rival's not going to be injured, but certainly not going to have much impact. If Camden wants to get this last touchdown, he needs to get Hand Egg Flinger to pick up the ball, and I believe he is going to do that once all of his safe plays have been made. Likely going to move other Quickie Boy downfield so that he can be ready to dash out, unless he goes for a pass here. It's a risky pass, but he does have rerolls. I think he should go for it.
Pass it to Urk.
I would pass it to one of the Quickie Boys.
That was not a pass.
That was a bad pass.
No, that was a pass.
Can you pass to an open space? You
I don't
can,
think
can't
so.
you?
Not the ball, I don't believe.
Not intentionally.
No, that was a failed pass. It was inaccurate, and he rolled a 9.
Actually,
he rolled a...
With a small amount of luck, Sports can actually score here.
He may if he gets this. If he gets Wii the rest of the way downfield. Nope, never mind.
No. That's really unfortunate.
Incredibly unfortunate.
Yeah.
That turd was his last chance to get a touchdown, because at this point, he doesn't have anybody who's there. It's just one stunned player, and his other 3 are too far away. Too far away to even get in the end zone.
Wait.
Things are not looking good.
When did that stun happen?
The stun happened on turn 15 on the trip. So he will be out. He will not be able to get up on turn 16.
I don't quite understand why he took the going for it.
Well, I think his logic with taking the going for it is that the Skaven can very easily get to this ball and get it to a position where he can't use it in any way. So I think that might have been his only actual opportunity to get the ball to the other end of the field. It may have indeed been a safer play not to go for it, but I think he was going for...
Honestly,
I believe he was playing based on the
SPP at this point.
Definitely, but I think another injury, a fractured leg, and another thrall is going to be out next game. That's 2 thralls out next game, and 3 more with temporarily negative stats.
The good news is he will be able to field a full team next game.
He will. That being said, many of them will have a reduced stat. Frankly, at this point, what's worst about this for him... Oh.
I stand corrected.
Well,
Oh.
that one's just a badly hurt. That's
We're
actually the best
down-
thing he could have hoped for.
We are down to 2 thralls and one of them is stunned.
So, looks like we're gonna see a block go on to Mohovil, and Mohovil's armor value is only 6. So, this is not going to go well for him.
I feel
If he
really
gets
bad
knocked down,
calling out the
he's-
assassin here.
And there's no reroll left, so fodder is also going to drop. And Mohovil only
He
stunned.
literally cannot act.
He cannot. The only players on the pitch are stunned. And with that, I think we should go down to the field.
That's stunned.
No, both players you have are stunned.
No turn 16 actions. we thought we'd just come down now and...
I was
You
so
might
sad.
want to get a mop, but wear some hazmat gear.
You know what made me sad was that I could not allow Bodon to pass the ball. He was my hero of the game. He will always be remembered.
What I feel worst about watching this is just how many of the injured players didn't get just a badly hurt. You're missing 2 players for next game, and you have 5 of them with a negative injury.
Two of them are out for the next game.
Oh, 2 of them are out? Oh, jeez.
2 out for next game, and
However,
4 of them have negative stats.
Sports does have 2 or 3 backup thralls.
You're gonna need them, Sports. This
Be glad you bought them.
Yeah, Dale is currently on the bench. Why was Dale on the bench? Didn't he just come in automatically? That could have been. That maybe could have got you a touchdown.
No, he was never gonna be allowed to come in.
He got surfed. He got
surfed out.
All
so
right.
There's no way.
Well,
But
pass it
all
back,
I'm
I
gonna
guess.
say is Bodon is the hero of my game, along with SpongeBob, the best thrower in the league.
SpongeBob will stay the best thrower in the league.
He made some ridiculously throws, and then when I needed it, I'm gonna lose Bodon, which is the one man I trusted to throw the ball outside of that. So. Bodon was the only other guy.
That was just brutal.
You know how
I think I was about
for you?
60%. Like the Rat Ogre, 60% of his hits resulted in injury.
You know.
Yeah, I'm looking at the SPP. The Rat Ogre got 8 SPP.
Hot grinder
He injured
profile
4
got
players
8.
himself.
How is fodder for the MVP? Oh my gosh, I had 23 armor
MVP.
breaks.
I'm pretty sure MVP goes to someone who didn't earn SPP that game.
How the hell is MVP for Jimmy? I'm pissed. It should have been. It should have been
Well-
Bodon.
Well, Jimmy's level 3 now.
No,
Oh, is
level
he?
2.
No, he's level 3. You need 8 SPP for level 2 and 16
Oh
for
yeah,
level
he
3.
is
He
level
has
2.
19.
He's
Oh,
at
yeah.
level 3.
Level 3.
He is
Well,
he's
still
going level 3.
Also, Ben, it's only 6 for level 2.
Oh,
It's
right.
6
I don't know why I thought it was 8.
Unfortunately, I could not win, but my all-in is
So-
next week against.
So, I do want to
Dylan.
point out, Sports had the ball
Majority.
more than Camden did.
Yeah, it's because
I
when
just-
Camden got the ball, he
just
scored in
my
2
guys
turns.
have really
Because when I got the
bad
ball, I
luck.
scored the next turn.
Between the 2 of you, though, 100% passing rate this game.
Seriously.
Yeah. This was a really good passing game.
Wait, no, he failed a pass.
I failed the pass.
Oh, wait, no. You failed. Sorry. The way we're
One of
looking
my
at it is
throws failed.
passing.
100%
We're looking
catching.
at. Yeah, it's 100% catching because Mohovil caught a ball that got dropped.
See,
Right.
it's 100%. It's 100% passing between Bodon and SpongeBob.
Between Bodon and anybody, really.
No, but Bodon, I'm so proud of. He made so many
I
well.
can give my Rat Ogre either a +1 armor, +1 movement. Boo. Now we're
Also,
going with
to
this
be
right away.
honest, what was it? I will miss him for next game, but mark my words, I get so close to scoring touchdowns every game. I will make sure I score next game.
Oh,
I
you've
felt
never
really
scored,
bad that I
have you?
stopped you from scoring.
No, I have not. I've gotten so close. Like,
All right.
every time it's down to the last draw, and if I would have just not went for it, I'd had a scoring chance.
Holy shit.
So, have the
That's
2
what
of you confirmed this match?
Yes.
I did.
All right, so the match is confirmed. We can confirm the round and hear for everyone. Also, that is the play. So now it looks like next week, the Nibblers are going up against me. The Vamps are going up against Dylan.
Mm-hmm.
So, how are the two of you feeling about your upcoming games?
Not very great because of the injuries, but I'm gonna put it all in for it.
I may or may not have fucked you out of playoffs, and I feel kind of bad about it.
Sports.
Oh no, that was his 5th loss. He cannot make.
I actually lost. I only have one reserve player.
Oh.
I have 1, 2, 3, 4.
No, he has 2 reserves.
Well, no, he had
5,
3
6,
reserves,
7,
but 2 players
8,
aren't coming in
9.
the next game.
1, 2, 3, 4, 6.
So
7,
there's apparently
8,
an
9.
ability
No!
that lets. Oh.
I actually have only 10 players playing next week.
Do you really?
Yes.
Oh.
Have fun.
Wait a
What?
minute.
I can
Wait,
buy
no. It's only two are out for the next game.
No,
I
you
can
have to
buy
you have to read the details of the injury.
I can buy 2 players too.
I only saw that 2 got knocked out.
It
like,
says
are
Patrick
for the
Starr is out for next game.
No, so they're faded because they got injured that game. However, if you look at it, the ones that don't have a negative stat, those are the only 2 that actually got injured. So you'll have 11 players. Or those are the only 2 that are missing the next game. So you will have 11
All I'm
players.
saying is I'm buying 2 more thralls.
I mean, that's up to you.
I need them though. For backup.
I feel like it's gonna be annoying because you're just way better at this game than I am. So I don't know.
Well, I mean, you've had a lot of success so far.
Someone call it luck.
Reaper. Reaper. I've been so close to
I
score.
would have beat your
Every
ass if my
fucking
graphics
time.
card.
You know this, Reaper. I'm so bad.
Have you scored at all this
No.
season?
No, he hasn't.
No.
He hasn't.
So the question is, do I get break tackle to let my rat ogre use strength instead of agility when making dodges?
Wait,
He can only do it for one of those each turn.
is
yeah.
Jimmy?
But
Jimmy
it does
one of
it
the
does
most-
mean that you can more easily maneuver him if you want to.
Wait,
I almost
in
did
the-
that with my mummy.
Who's the
I
most
went with Guard,
experienced player now in the league? Because Jimmy
The-
did both too.
So I believe it's still one quickie boy because he got a lot of SPP that game.
Yeah, it's one quickie boy, and
Yeah,
Jimmy's
I'm looking at the wrong
still
person.
second.
One quickie boy, just that good.
I don't think that the Hall of Fame has updated actually.
No, I don't think
It
did
doesn't
either.
update till all the
No,
matches are been
but
played.
he has 21 SSP.
Yeah, no. So if you look at it, one quickie boy is still at 17,
I
and
have
Quasimodo
19.
Strong arm.
Quasimodo's still at 12. It hasn't updated yet, so it'll take a little time. But
No, I'm looking at the XP. It actually had 21
Oh, the actual
on that
SPP.
SP. Well, mine is at 19, which was what my SP was after that game for Jimmy. So it did update.
Oh, good
Or at
lord, I
least
just realized I'm
those
looking
two
at every
players.
single team in the game. Yeah, so... How much... What does Quasimodo have?
Wait, did the passer one?
Quasimodo has 18, so both of yours are more experienced than my most experienced.
Did the passer end up going up more?
Oh, wait. Do I? No.
I don't
Larry's
think...
one level away from 18.
I
No, I have 2 level 3s. I forgot Larry hit level 3.
I don't
Else-
think it's updated. Well, I don't know if it's updated yet.
The Hall of Fame isn't. We were checking the actual stats on our players.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dwarf!
Sad.
Oh god, I'm facing Levi.
Yeah, and he's gonna have a chip on his shoulder.
Chip on his shoulder?
Yeah, he's
Oh,
not gonna be
jeez.
happy going into that game.
Save throw looks really good, so
No,
does
I hope you
accurate.
know, Reaper. It's not gonna make it easier for you to deal with it, because
He
he's.
does have... Well... I mean... Eh.
I'm
Yeah, I know
pretty
he's
sure
not
next
gonna make it easy.
I'm pretty sure next week we're gonna be covering Dwarf v Nagarons, just because of what it means to the league in terms of who makes playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, you could.
Dwarf
do
versus
yours.
Nagarons?
Yes, it's Dwarf
it's-
versus Nagaron's Chosen.
That's
That game is actually, I think, going to be the one that determines whether or not Levi or Reaper makes playoffs.
Also, if Reaper
'Cause-
wins that game and I win mine, then Destiny is in Reaper's hands to be playoff. But
Yeah, because Bloodclaw's Dwarf and Nagarons are all 3-0-2. So if Reaper beats Levi, that will put him ahead and put him in 4th.
So he either needs to vote on me beating Dylan or winning his game. Which I say probably better
He needs.
bet for you,
Well,
Dylan,
no,
you
he
get.
need. If he gets both, he gets 3rd. If you beat Dylan and he loses, Dylan beat him, so Dylan will still be ahead of him.
Dylan will still be ahead, so he won't make it.
I'm okay with
He
4th.
just he just needs to. You literally need to beat Levi to make.
So
playoffs.
wait, I can't even
I don't think
influence
there's any
the
other way.
standing. I can't influence the standings at all.
You can.
No, you can. You can. If you beat Dylan.
That is if, but it depends on him beating Levi.
I really just want to hear y'all's relentlessly
Hear what?
Uh,
injure him into oblivion.
You also do determine seeding is the thing.
Yeah, you are going to have an impact on seeding because it's
Yeah,
going
you
to
were
be
allowed to
first.
fuck someone over.
It's gonna be first versus 4th and second versus 3rd. So if you beat the right people, then you'll change whether or not someone's against 1st or 2nd.
Yeah, which I want to win the next game. I also put more into my backups to get more reinforcements. I have a full ass roster, so
I feel
Well-
like you need to get something other than thralls, but I don't know how the vampire makeup is. for the
vampires
teams.
cost 110k.
100k.
It's 110k.
100.
And I don't have enough.
Thralls are 70.
Yes.
How
That's
much
expensive.
is? Are there any other?
Thralls are 60 actually.
Oh, 60.
Or,
Are
no,
there any
thralls
other?
Are 40 actually.
Goodness gracious, pick. Are there any? Is there anything other than that?
No, it's just.
No, it's just thralls and vampires.
How many vampires can you have?
Best bet is either 2 or 3 for
You know, like, what's the
the way you
cap?
want to do it. Cap?
The cap that you can have. 'Cause I feel like you should save your money for those for next season. Because this is a lost season for you at this point.
Yeah.
But anyway, thank you guys for watching this the cast of the game this week. We are set in stone that next game we cover will be Dwarf v Nagaron's Chosen. So we'll be back with that next week. We hope you guys enjoyed this, and we're getting down to the wire on who's going to be in the playoffs, and I think that next week is going to be one of the greatest deciding factors on who's going to make it.
The cap on vampires is 6.
Get more vampires!
Get more fucking vampires.
Alright, see you guys
can
next
have
week.
6
See ya.
vampires.
Yeah.